the Kotoko Solomon SARFO Taylor issue and the 3-year ban handed over to the former Kotoko attacker is one of the issues we're looking at this morning. And we have heard that FIFPRO has taken interest in the matter. And this is not the first time FIFPRO is taking interest and delving into issues of Ghana football, especially those affecting players. Remember the Ashanti Gold Inter-Allies match fixing that saw the Football Association's disciplinary committee hand ban to some players of the two teams. FIFPRO stepped in and appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and those ban on the players were overturned. So again, FIFPRO, Federation of International Association of Footballers Professionals, they have stepped into the matter involving Solomon SARFO Taylor and Kumasi Asante Kotoko, which resulted in a 3-year ban for the player. Roy Veme is legal director for FIFPRO, and he joins us this morning via our Zoom platform. Good morning, Roy, and thanks for the time.
Good morning. How are you?
We are well, by grace. Roy, before we even delve into the substantive matter, on the African continent, and using Ghana as a case study, often there's been issues of players, contractual agreement and disagreement, and how some players will make assertions that even details of what they sign is not details of what appears anytime there seem to be issues. Is FIFPRO well aware of the gap when it comes to players and legal issues? And as the head or as the legal director for FIFPRO, what are the plans to improve players' knowledge on legal matters?
Sorry, the last part of your question was interrupted. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm asking that, is FIFPRO well aware of the gap when it comes to players and legal matters, and how your office as legal director of FIFPRO is going to work to close this gap?
Well, I think, we're obviously aware of many disputes around the world, not only in the African continent. Together with the Domestic Players Union, in this case in Ghana, the PFAG, we have represented a whole bunch of players in disputes with clubs in Egypt, in Tanzania, in Ethiopia, you name it, and also in Ghana. And in the vast majority, we've been able to recover the money and get the player what he is entitled to. As soon as a player has a problem and approach the PFAG will approach FIFPRO, and we will, if the player is a member, assist those players with their legal challenges. Obviously, we would like to avoid the disputes altogether. And that can be done by a standard contract, which, to the best of my knowledge, is not available in Ghana. And to have better control of football associations on their clubs, what they're actually doing. Are they registering the players? Are they paying the players? Are they ensuring that they are not training alone, etc.? Obviously, with a lot of those rules already in place, we can avoid a dispute. But the sad reality is that in many jurisdictions, this is not being handled correctly by the football associations.
But what could possibly explain why the football associations do not handle these disputes correctly? And more often than not, the players are the ones at the losing end.
I think it has to do with the way that many of these football associations are structured. Normally, their members are football clubs or regional football associations, and therefore, a football association has an inherent interest in keeping their members, i.e., the clubs or regional associations, happy, and not the players. If that's the structure of a football association, it's not weird or odd to see that whenever rules are being made, that they are made keeping in mind the clubs rather than the players.
I see. Now, the case at this point is, or the case study is Solomon SARFO Taylor. who has been handed a 3-year ban by the Football Association for falsifying his details, i.e., age and name. We understand that FIFPRO has taken an interest in the matter. What is the position of FIFPRO on this matter, and what do you make of the ruling by the Football Association?
Yeah, it's quite a bizarre matter, to be honest with you. We were informed by the PFAG, who's formerly representing the player. We are helping on the background with that. It's something that has allegedly happened 8 years ago, and for whatever reason now has popped up. The circumstances surrounding that are questionable to begin with. We have rules in the Ghana disciplinary regulations that say after 5 years you cannot look into these matters anymore, but that was pushed away. There are other procedural irregularities. We had to learn from the media on Monday on a Twitter account of last week that the player had been banned, and the player has never even been notified formally about the decision. What kind of a procedure is that? That is a violation of the player's right to be heard. Not all the documents have been provided to the player, and then we have to learn from the media that the player is being banned. And we only got the decision ultimately via an external source, not related to the Ghana Football Association. That is not a way how you conduct these proceedings, and we will do whatever we can to challenge this decision. We filed the appeal yesterday. We also filed a request for provisional measures yesterday, which is, of course, a certain urgency because we need to have a decision temporarily lifting the ban on the player. And, we will wait. We will wait to hear from the Ghana Football Association. But, based on past experience, I'm not sure if we will get something from them towards us anytime soon.
No, but I don't get you clear. What exactly do you mean, Roy? If you say that based on past experiences, you do not expect to get anything from the Football Association soon. Can you come clearer on that for us?
We are legally, the PFAG is legally representing the player. So any notification needs to be sent to the legal representative of the player. On Monday, we learned via Twitter that the player has been banned. The legal representative of the player then sends another letter to the Ghana FA asking for the decision because the decision has been taken. Otherwise, the Ghana FA would not put this on their social media. And we are ignored again. And only via, as I said, only via an external source, we get the decision. But this decision needs to be notified to the legal representative of the player in a formal manner. And that's not being done, and it's unacceptable that it's not being done.
Okay. Now, I want to get something clear, Roy. Has your challenge got to do with the processes through which the case was handled and how the ban on the player was announced through the media without writing to the legal representatives of the player or the player himself? Or you have studied the matter and the dispute and think that there is no basis to hand the 3-year ban to Solomon SARFO Taylor, or both?
It's both. So I've now spoken about the procedural irregularities, but obviously we also studied the case. We think that as to the substance, absolutely nothing has been proven by the prosecutor. That's why also, of course, in appeal, we will appeal on the merits of the case, because it's not proven, this disciplinary infringement, and the statute of limitations has expired as well. And again, I think if you impose such a substantial sanction of 3 years on a player, you need to better have some proper evidence and a good case, and neither of those is present.
Okay. Now, we've got to be wrapping up the conversation, but let me find out from you. You have launched an appeal with the Appeals Committee of the Football Association. Could we have FIFPRO go as far as the Court of Arbitration for Sport if this appeal is unsuccessful?
Absolutely, we will go until the end. So if the appeals committee decision is negative for the player, which I cannot see how they can come to that conclusion on the basis of what we have provided. But should it be negative, yes, we will take it to the Court of Arbitration for Sport again.
Okay. Thank you very much, Roy, for the time this morning on Metro Sports.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. That was Roy Verme, who is legal director for FIFPRO, sharing the position of FIFPRO on the way and manner the Football Association announced the 3-year ban to former Kumasi Asante Kotoko Solomon SARFO Taylor, the former Asante Kotoko striker. And the ruling itself, it says they've got issues with the processes, and then they feel that the case made by Kumasi Asante Kotoko lacks the substance for the player to be handed a 3-year ban. Nidako, you were explaining the issue of a ban. Now that we've kickstarted the program and you've heard from Roy, from Kotoko's point of view, what is the dispute and what is your position on the ruling by the Football
I thought
Association?
you let me be to enjoy these 3 points.
No, we'll come there. I introduced this topic separately from March the 26th review. And we have had to start with this because we had to go on the Zoom platform. We cannot come back to March the 26th and then go back again to this matter. So let's put closer to the Kotoko SARFO Taylor GFA issues.
As far as we are concerned, the case currently is between the FA, that is the disciplinary committee of the FA, and then the player.
Okay. But we are asking, the dispute was between Solomon SARFO Taylor and Asante Kotoko.
Good.
Now that the ruling has been made, whatever happens after is the FA and SARFO Taylor and his representative. But Kotoko can be roped in as a third party.
Sure.
But I'm asking, because a lot of our viewers are confused. They do not know what the real issue is. You're a member of the Asante Kotoko communication team. And of the 4 of us here, you are better placed to give an explanation to this issue than any of us.
Good, Michael. So the whole thing started somewhere around July last year. During the commencement of the 2023-2024 league season, first round, we didn't register SARFO Taylor.
Okay.
Though he was still
this current season.
Though he was still on our payroll, we're paying because management met with him on about 3 occasions, trying to either transfer him or loan him to any club, since at that time his services with the club would not be needed. He refused to accept that particular proposal from management, and therefore he went home, though we're paying him, like I said earlier on. So in the course of the second window, he was invited again to come back to the club secretariat for a possible discussion and register him for the second round of the season. He came to the secretariat, all right. Management met him. We put our proposal before him. Then he said he was going back. He was going and would get back to the club. In the course of the discussion, we had a document from a whistleblower. So the club put it before the player in question, that this is what we've had. Is it true you have different identity?
At what point did you have that information from the whistleblower?
Some few weeks to the commencement of the second window registration.
Okay.
So since we were...
So at that point, you already had issues with SARFO Taylor?
Not issues per se, but then he was not part of our registered players for the ongoing league season. Okay. So...
And before that, you had met him?
We had met him.
In an attempt to terminate his contract?
Yes.
Which he declined?
He declined.
So he was sitting home? Not training with the team?
Yes.
But you were paying him? We were paying him. How much were you paying him?
I can't put that on set, please.
But you know it?
I know. I'm very much aware.
Is it a whooping sum or is normal?
Respectable sum of.
Respectable sum?
Very, very. He deserves
around 3,000 cedis.
3,000.
Too small.
How much was Rocky Jam not even taking then? You're talking about SARFO Taylor. So
maybe like let's say around 5K. Or 5K
I am
is also,
not in the
or 5K
position-
is
I
also
am
too.
not-
But you said 3,000 is too small.
Yes.
Is it below 5K?
It's more than, it's even more than 5K.
It's more than 5K.
Yes.
But below 10K.
I can tell.
Okay. Is it up to 10K? No, we don't want the actual
Michael,
figure. Okay, this will be the final. Is it up to 10K?
I wouldn't
Or
be
close
specific.
or close to 10K.
I wouldn't be specific.
I'm saying that
on
don't
his-
be specific. We don't want the actual figure. You say it's more than 3K.
Yes.
More than 5K. Is it more than 7K?
I can tell.
Let's continue.
So in the course of,
So for how many months did you pay him?
we paid him. I mean, from the latter
The
part,
league started in September.
and we're paying him before
September.
September.
Okay, but at that time he was still considered an active player of Asante
Asante
Kotoko.
Kotoko.
So from September, October, November, December, January. Did you pay him for January?
With that one,
But you paid him up to December?
Yes, I'm very sure
Okay.
about it. So, in the course of the discussion between him and then the management of the club, that particular document received from the whistleblower was put before him.
Okay.
And then he came back, he wrote it to the management that he doesn't have any double identification. So we said, okay, if that should be the case, then let's go to the FA, because it has happened to Asante Kotoko before. We remember Nicholas Mensah's issue.
Okay.
Similar thing happened after Kotoko had registered him.
Okay.
He was banned.
Okay.
Then we had similar issue when we registered Baba Yaya with the club from Kinfesa.
Okay.
For him, we did same. We asked him, we asked, is it true you have double registration? And then he said yes, he confirmed it. So if you quite remember, though.
So when you confirmed, what did you guys do?
We went to the FA
To do what?
to inquire from them that this is what we have heard.
And what happened?
And the FA said, wait until that particular issue is rectified before you know the boy had played about 1 or 2 matches. So since then, we didn't use him again.
Okay.
And the supporters were complaining, Babaya is a very good player. Why are you not using him?
Okay.
But that was the reason why we didn't use him in the course of the of
but
those weeks.
why was Baba Yaya not banned?
Baba Yaya's issue was sent to the FA.
Okay.
And then the FA was in the process because they have already had that particular information.
Okay.
So they were in the process of rectifying everything so that the boy will be cleared.
Okay.
Continue with his career.
Let's continue
But
with
with the
Safo
SARFO Taylor, he wrote it back to the club and said, no, I don't have double registration.
Okay.
So the club said, okay, so this is our player. Already, he had gone to the player status committee, reporting the club to the player status committee that we owe him 3 months' salary.
Okay.
So they wrote back to the club and said, why are you not paying him? So, okay, this is the reason why we have held on with his salary.
Okay.
Now it's having double registration.
Okay. Did you, in all sincerity,
Yes.
did you hold on to Baba Yaya's salary at the point where you realized that he had double registration issues?
Whatever issue we had with Baba Yaya, the FA worked or was working on it.
I'm saying that.
The player Baba Yaya,
No, you have mentioned
the
to us.
player, we were paying him.
You were paying
Yes.
him. Okay, let's continue.
We were paying him.
Yeah, I don't want to explain.
And Baba Yaya was still with the club, training with the club.
Okay.
They are not the same.
Okay.
So please, let's put that
So you
on
continue
record.
with the Safo Taylor issue.
So he said, no, man, he doesn't have any double registration. So we wrote to the FA, you are the organizers of our game.
Okay.
Please check this.
So at that
for
point,
us.
what was your interest in writing to the FA to check? Because this was a player you did not want to use. He was a player who was not in your plans, and he was home. So what was your interest in writing to the
Since
FA?
you didn't follow my narration, I said, during the second window, we called because we had wanted to register him
Okay.
for the second round.
Okay.
So that's what I said.
Okay.
So, I mean, that particular thing should be an interest to the club at Asante Kotoko.
Okay.
Do we have any issue with the player? This is what we've had. Kindly go through and check it for us.
Okay.
And I see nothing wrong with the club doing that. Because it is the FA who is organizing the league. So if you have had any issues, we have given it to the player. He said no, he has denied it. Can they check it for us? Baba Yaya, he said yes. But the
Okay.
FA had already had the situation.
So
They're
is
working on
Kotoko
it.
satisfied with the ruling from the Football Association?
That one is between the player because Kotoko had nothing again doing with that particular issue. Until the FA roped in Asante Kotoko back into the case. For us, we are not in it now. Yes.
But I'm saying that, are you okay with the ruling? Are you satisfied?
Me as a person or as a club?
As a
Asante
club, you
Kotoko.
speak for Kotoko as a club.
We haven't issued any statement on that regard.
But as a person?
We deal with rules and regulations. So if the regulations are gone on, I mean, I wasn't happy with Nicholas Bonsu's ban.
Okay.
Right, but I mean, that couldn't change anything.
Okay.
He served the ban and came back to the club. He's currently playing.
Okay. So have you been communicated to that the player has been banned?
For sure, yes.
You have been communicated to. Are you not surprised that Kotoko as a club has been communicated to, but the player and his legal representatives have not been communicated to?
I don't speak for them, so I can't tell.
But I'm saying that as
me,
as a student of the game, what do you make of it that Kotoko, 1 week after the ruling, Kotoko as a club, you have confirmed that you've been written to.
Yes.
So you have details of the ruling. But the player in question, the player who is the key person in all of this dispute, has not been communicated to. And that he and his legal representatives...
I don't know who represented him.
Roy just said that FIFPRO.
Because I was told it was the PFAG.
PFAG is FIFPRO representative in Ghana.
So, I mean, if they said they've not been written or they've not been served, I mean, it is up to them to. So if you have not been served, why then do you go ahead and write or seek for please?
He keeps making reference to reading the ruling on X. He said Twitter, so X or Twitter. Kotebe, let me rope you in, and then after I'll go to Kwabena Asante Fujo. Kotoko Baba Yaya GFA, FIFPRO, PFAG.
Safotela, not Baba Yaya.
Sorry, Safotela.
When it comes to issues with players' registration, I sometimes find it difficult because one, when you are registered, you are in the system. So if you go with a different identity and stuff, I'm sure they should be able to know. But it is something that I think the player in question, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, both didn't help the matter. One, we knew Safotela was playing for Karela for seasons. And the year he left for Denmark, he nearly signed for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, if you could remember. He was even paid some amount of money until he returned the money and he left for Denmark. During the COVID, he was coming down to Ghana, but he went through Spain. And then when he touched down, Kotoko registered him. He was part of the Kotoko setup that won the league under Dr. Prosper Ogun. And due to one or two reasons in terms of performance, he was not getting playing time. But until the last 5 or 6 games under Coach Zebu, virtually he was the best player for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So everybody thought that coming the new season, 2023-2024, he'll be part of Kotoko's team. But unfortunately, we were told or we heard that the technical team is not interested in him and he has to find a club. And the player also felt that he has a contract with Kotoko. So if I'm no more needed here, then I should be paid all my money, then I go away. And Kotoko also found it difficult in paying him that amount of money because if you're looking at his salary that I know, I cannot put it out here. No, I don't have.
So you know it,
of course, but I don't have his permission to put it out here. I know.
Okay.
And
was he being paid good money?
Yes, if you ask me, within our content here in Ghana, it's a very good money.
Is it up to 7,000?
Michael, it's a very good money.
Okay.
I'm telling you, trust me, it's a very good money. And if Kotoko should pay him for...
But good money is subjective.
And I'm saying that
on the person
if you are playing for a club like Kumasi
that's why
Asante,
I asked, because to someone, 1,000 cedis
I'm saying
is
that,
very good
and I'm
money.
saying that you are playing for a club
to another person, 1,000 cedis.
He was taking more than 5,000.
He was taking more than 5,000.
Yes.
But not up to 7,000.
I say I won't be specific. More than. It could be 8,000, 10,000, whatever. Okay. But I won't be specific. What I'm saying is
he was taking more than 5K.
What I'm saying is that No, the point is that
No, because it looks like Kotoko felt the pain of
if
paying
Michael will be
that
bold,
money to the player
if
while
Michael
he
will be
was
bold to tell us the amount he pays his captain of Nagod FC on this, I'll be able to say it directly. If you be bold to tell me the amount you pay your captain.
No, but there is no issue surrounding my.
It's not about
captain.
issues.
If there
It's
were
about
issues,
somebody's salary.
No, but if there were issues,
And I'm saying
look,
that
I'm saying that if there were
I
issues,
don't have his permission.
and we have to
I
explain.
don't have his permission to put his salary here.
Okay.
So it ends there,
And
Michael.
the issue even at hand had nothing to do with his salary.
It does.
Does it?
It does.
But you kept stressing the fact that you were paying him while he was
do you
home.
know why I'm
Why
saying-
did you make reference
No.
to the fact that you were
Do you
paying
know why
him
I'm saying
while he
it does,
was home?
Michael?
Can I tell you the reason why?
Michael, do you know why I'm saying it does? For a player to be sitting at home, not be training with the club, but earns that kind of money every month from the club's coffers. Do you think it's an easy thing? Obviously,
I don't know the amount. I don't know whether it is
no, even if it is 1 cedi, 2 cedis, he doesn't offer any services to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And at the end of every month, he takes that money home. For 5 months or so, he was taking that amount of money. Obviously, the player will be comfortable. At the end of the month, he goes to the bank, he takes his money. But there are other players who are playing who even doesn't earn like the way he earns. You understand my point? So for me, I think that when it got to a point that Kotoko felt that they wanted to register him for the second window, because most of Kotoko supporters were complaining. Kotoko, we don't have strikers. Apart from Steve Mukwela, what is Safu Taylor doing? He's still with Kotoko, we are paying him. So why don't you give him the chance to come and train? Because he was virtually our best player 5 or 6 matches to the end of last season. So why don't you give him the chance to come and play? Probably that is the reason why Neil was saying that they called him to register him for the second window. And probably he told them that he will get back to the club, which he didn't. So they also felt that then let's hold on to his salary. And then, as Nee said, a whistleblower came to tell them this. But I felt that
A whistleblower within.
But I felt that it could be with this. I felt that Kotoko shouldn't have gone to the FA.
Okay.
They could have simply terminated the contract with the player and then allow him to go. Because at the end of the day, you ask the player, and he said, "No, I don't have different."
Once you ask him to come and play, and the player refuses to play, you have every right to terminate his contract.
That is it. You see, for me, my problem is that for looking at
So, coach, is it a case where Kotoko just wanted to pay Safu Taylor back?
I don't think so, because of the issue of Nicolas Mensah. A Premiership club reported Kotoko to the FA, not the player. But upon investigation by the FA, they realized that Kotoko had nothing to do with the registration and the changing of name of the player.
Okay, so that was another club reporting the player and Asante Kotoko.
Good. And the case of
this is Asante Kotoko.
And that is what I'm saying.
Tendering in evidence against the player.
That is what I'm saying. That to me, Kotoko shouldn't have done that, because looking at Baba Yaya issues, I'm sure somebody hinted Kotoko. That was the reason why early stages of the games, Baba Yaya was not being used. But a lot of people didn't know why Kotoko were not using Baba Yaya. But he was a registered Kotoko player. But they took the issue to the FA for the FA to resolve it for them. Okay. They could have done the same with Safu Taylor if he had accepted that, yes, I have two identities. But my problem is that he had played for Karila for close to 3 or 4 seasons, or let me say 3 seasons with Karila under Ghana Football Association. And then he came
as
to
Solomon Safu Taylor.
We all know Safu Taylor. He came to play for Kotoko. Kotoko won the league. He was part of Kotoko's team that won the league. He played last season's league with Kotoko.
But you see, if this was elsewhere, once the player is banned, even Kotoko's league title that particular season
that is why
could be at risk.
That is why I'm saying that if Kotoko
they could be stripped off that particular for using an unqualified player.
That is when Kotoko knew or had something to do with the change of the name. If that's
what I'm saying they could. I'm not making an emphatic statement. I'm saying that if it was elsewhere, Kotoko would be at risk of being stripped of that particular title.
We use Nicolas Mensah.
When it comes to two identities and here and there in our football, if the FA is going to be critical, I'm sure most of players will be banned. A lot of players will be banned.
Let me come to you, Kwabena.
But I think that it's very unfortunate that, for me, Kotoko took the issue, and now Safu Taylor has been banned for 3 years. Michael, I don't know his age.
But he looks very matured.
Of course. So 3 years.
3 years.
Player who has sat down for a whole season that has not kicked a ball.
Yes.
And now he has
so
been banned
he's going to go 4 years.
You understand my point? I'm thinking about the future and his career. That is.
And I
my
ask a
issue.
very
I think that
simple
this is
question:
something.
whether we are punishing to reform or we are punishing to kill the career of the player. Kobe, let me come to you on this subject.
I have to restrain myself on this issue. I'm highly scandalized, and I was shocked when I heard this thing coming from a whole institution like Kotoko. I was shocked, and I can't come to terms with the decision they took and what they did. And I'm surprised the likes of Dasobere and those people who take those, they did what they did. I'm highly
They are excited.
I'm highly surprised. I mean, this is. I mean, there's a callousness that I don't know how to describe. Safu Taylor has been in this league for how many years? He's played for Carrera. He went outside. He came back. He played for Kotoko. So with all this, I just don't want to go.
Before moving to Carolina.
So
in other words, the FA too also.
That's what I'm saying. So with all these years that Safu Taylor has played in Ghana Premier League, no whistleblower, nobody got a wind of him having done a double registration.
For how long
Please,
was
please,
Baba
please,
Ella
please.
in the Ghana Premier League?
When you were speaking, I was here. I didn't speak. I was
When
quiet.
he's done and you have any reaction, you'll be given the time
I was
to
quiet.
make those reactions.
So it's Kotoko telling us that when they were registering this player, they didn't do any due diligence. They registered a player that played for you a whole season, you won a league. You see? All the thing, I mean, if you listen to the narration and what they are saying, the thing is that the boy doesn't want to sign for them. He doesn't want to terminate his contract, and they want to get back at him. That's what they did. Because somebody, so indeed, if somebody has even given you that whistle or blow that any whistle about the boys double registration, the FA they have no win about that information. It was only with Kotoko. So why didn't you call the guy and say, hey, this is what we have, so we want to terminate the contract? Huh?
They did, and the player told them, look, my name is Safu Taylor. I don't have any name anywhere, whatever it is.
The thing is that, so with all these years, Safu Taylor that we've known has played in the league. In Ghana, so the Ghana Football Association system, they also have different registration because for me, I know the registration go with bio.
That was.
Please.
No, he's trying to put some. Just listen.
No, but you need a supporting document. We are not yet at the stage where we do biometric registration, but the documents you need are because you need either for the juvenile players, you need a birth certificate, and then maybe Ghana card. But for the professionals, Division 1, Premier League, you need a Ghana card now.
Okay. So which card is he using now? Which card is he using? Because indeed, like you're telling me,
he was not registered this season. So let's use last season's card. What card did you use last season?
Last season it will be the Ghana card for the Ghana Premier League.
So if Ghana card was used, I'm tempted to even believe that.
And previously, Ghana card, birth certificate, passport. And even for the professional players, usually if it is passport.
But he has traveled, we all know that Safu Taylor has traveled with passport.
Yeah.
The name is in the Safu Taylor.
So the question is, Safu Taylor has a Ghana card with the name Safu Taylor.
Yeah.
He has a passport with the same Safu Taylor. So what name are they talking about again? What name are they talking about again? Now, Safu Taylor can never change his identity he can't take any other name apart from Safu Taylor.
He has to go and show affidavit.
Of course. So he's known to be Safu Taylor. So what's this ruling about? What is it about?
Let's wait for the appeal of FIFPRO, right? Let's see.
I mean, and I'm surprised. The Ghana Football Association, you have, the data of all these players. You register all these players. So Safu Taylor has changed his name or has changed whatever and has played in this league for about 5-6 years. Gone outside and come back. And still, no trace. And somebody whistle blower, who I don't know who that whistle, who blew that whistle, comes in and Kotoko now write to the FA that this is what we heard, and now the boy has been banned.
That is
for
very
3 years.
unfortunate. To be honest with you, if you ask me, that's very unfortunate.
Because you don't want to pay the player. You owe the player, you don't want to pay. You owe somebody. You don't want to pay the person. So you write to the FA that this person, we've heard that his documents are not okay. So sanction him.
Someone
What kind of wickedness is this?
Someone said you could equate this, or you could cite an example and say that this is just like someone who owes, maybe someone who deals in drugs, let's say sells Indian hemp or weed,
and he owes you.
And he owes you. Then when he comes for his money, you tell him that I don't have the money to pay. And if you continue to pursue me, I'll report you to the police. And eventually report to the police.
The same thing. And the person is arrested.
And I think if the person is arrested, you the one who reported.
Nobody see. Too. You see.
But come, you are a legal. You are a law student. Let me ask you, could Kotoko's deregistration of SARFO Taylor constitute a breach of contract because they signed a contract with the player to register him for the player to play for the club? Could the decision to not register the player constitute breach of contract?
You know, the thing is that I don't know the kind of agreement they signed.
Kobe cannot answer this question. Do you know why?
No, that's what I'm saying. That
Richmond Ayi has a full registered player. He was not registered for this, but he's being paid.
No,
he's in the house. Yes, it's true.
Please.
But
The question is what the question is asking me is different from what you also the answer. I mean, what he wants from me. This is different scenario.
Okay. It is
the IE case. The IE case. IE is our player. The same. We had the same issue.
And SARFO is their player.
No, listen. We had the same with IE, Obin Jr. and Eric Eso. Obin Jr. terminated his contract.
Good.
Eso terminated his contract.
Good.
But IE said no, I will not.
It's the same as this.
Okay. We are paying him. Have you heard of Hasselhoff complaining about IE?
What you don't understand is that Kotoko is paying SARFO Taylor until
we've not reported anybody.
So if somebody should come and say IE is also having, it's the same situation.
Kotoko, because you think you are paying SARFO Taylor that huge sums of money and he's not playing for you, so you found a way to report him so that he will be banned.
No.
Oh yes, of course. So in that now that he's been banned,
they didn't find a way.
No. They found a way. That's what they did. So now that he's been banned, what it means that Kotoko is no more going to pay the money. You see the scenario? He's no more going to pay because we signed a contract. Because you see, it will be like even the contract we signed with you, you didn't tell us the truth.
You signed a contract with SARFO Taylor.
I'm saying
you have to pay SARFO Taylor.
No.
What is no?
No, Kotoko signed a contract
with SARFO Taylor, who I helped you to win a league.
That is it.
So you have to pay me.
But you see, when you go to that tangent, we're looking at the personality. So indeed, if there is any fraud or whatever attached,
my Ghana card shows SARFO Taylor.
No, that's what I'm saying.
My passport shows SARFO Taylor.
That's what I'm saying. That
I signed a contract.
That is what I'm saying.
That SARFO Taylor.
That's what I'm saying.
So who are you going to pay?
So that's what I'm saying. That but SARFO
so
Taylor,
if you have a different, then you go to the passport.
No, that's what I'm saying. That
private immigration or whatever to find out that.
Coach, that's what I'm saying. That SARFO Taylor has a representative. Because in this case, it's not a case.
And then let's wait for FIFPRO because for them, we are representing them.
Okay. It's not a case.
Because you heard
this is my identity. This is my identity. Are you telling me that you want to change my identity? I'm SARFO Taylor. I've used this. This is my passport. This is my Ghana card. You want to change it for me?
Nidak, let me come to you. The double registration, the other registration. What club registered and what name was on the other registration?
Michael, I don't have those documents here. But before you present a case to a disciplinary committee, you need to have facts. So we shouldn't paint a picture like the FA just sat down and ruled on the case without deeper investigation.
But the FA has ruled on cases with deeper investigation
and later,
which you have disagreed and which has been overturned. There are several cases that have been overturned by the
so the representatives
committee.
of SARFO Taylor have the opportunity to go and
So let me give you an example. When the FA banned the players who were
when he was talking,
the gentleman we spoke
when he was talking,
and I tried to
come in.
So in that case, are you saying that the FA didn't do deep
investigations.
When you were talking, I tried to come in. You told me to keep quiet, but you didn't do same to him.
But he's
No, you reply to his question. That is unfair.
No.
Yeah, it's
It is
unfair.
Kobe's
It is unfair.
No. It is Kobe's time. And I allowed you to come in with a reaction.
Ended.
So if he has a reaction,
please, you didn't ask me
Well,
to rebut what he said.
let's
you
go
asked
ahead.
me a different question.
Let's go ahead.
And he sat here.
Kobe is
and
quiet.
said,
Let's go ahead.
The club is wicked. It is scandalous.
Because you don't want to pay him.
Look, let me tell you something.
You find a way of.
Kobe, please allow me that.
When we went to the FA about Baba Yaya's issue, were we wicked? Or we needed clarification for the betterment of the player?
But Baba was playing for you.
Please.
He didn't say that he will not play.
When-
Because the guy said he will not.
Excuse me.
And you're
I
paying
will
him.
not
Your
pay
contract.
Ali. What's the difference
That's
between
why you're
Ali
behaving.
and that
I mean,
of-
let's tell them.
please.
Allow him.
He was our player. We were paying him, though he was not playing for the club. Did we complain?
At what point did you stop paying the player?
I have told you that when we invited him to come for registration for the second round, he refused. I said, okay, so if you are not coming in agreement with us, a team like even Olympics came in requesting for his services for loan. We told him, he said no. So if we have something to, verify from the FA, and we asked the FA to do same for us, we shouldn't forget the fact that we registered was Nicholas Mensah's name not in the system when Kotoko registered him. Was he not playing the Ghana football? We bought him from a Division 1 club. Was his name not in the system? Didn't the FA ban him? What are we talking about? We have had series of examples. So if another one is cropping up and we say, okay, you are the organizers, kindly check it for us. What is the wickedness in this?
You are too wicked, Carlos.
What is the wickedness in this?
To ban somebody.
So please, what we are saying is that he was our player. We're paying him. We needed his service. He said,
So
no.
have you not terminated his contract?
Automatically.
We'll come out for that decision.
Automatically, they've terminated it.
Are you going to pay
The player has
arrears?
been banned already.
That arrears, that depends on the FA.